Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor season 43, right? Episode 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
90 minutes, lots to cover in this episode, and what a good tribal.
Yes, it's our second episode, still a jam-packed episode. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, which we would love, patreon.com/nerdtainment. Check us out over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hang out with us. All right, David's still in New York, obviously.
Still here. Yes, same background. Sarah pointed out before we went live. I'm like I'm matching the background. I'm like slowly becoming part of my hotel room.
It's an aesthetic. It's a thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yay. Well, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Yes.
Hi, let's dive into this 90-minute jam-packed episode. We're going to get to know people a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I will not complain about it.
No, I'm enjoying it. I like these like backstories and learning about different anxieties and insecurities people had growing up. Like, this is the human stuff that we love on this show, you know, because they just cast such good characters on Survivor.
They do. They do. Yeah. Well, we're obviously going to come off of the tribal like we usually do at the top of an episode. This is Baca.
Yeah. And Owen's like, I wanted to poop my pants. You guys.
Okay.
I did not know what to think. And they were like, see, Owen, that was an exercise in trust. And now you know you can trust. So clearly he was a bit nervous. Like, they had all talked about like, it's going to be Mariah. And he was like, is it going to be Mariah? And, you know, he just had to go with it. And he ended up on the right side of this one.
Yes, thank you for keeping me. He's saying they're talking trust. And you know what? Gabler's like, I trust you guys so much. I didn't even use my idol.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, that was crazy that you didn't use your idol.
They're like, yeah, of course you didn't. You're going to use it the next time. Like, he's obviously not going to use it. Right. You guys bought his little story about the shot in the dark. Nope. But then they're going to get a big old storm.
Starts pouring rain.
Crazy.
And which, I mean, it's just, not that I like love seeing them getting tortured by nature, but I just love that element of this show, right? I love that it is like everything is stripped away. You are living with Mother Earth and like everything that happens. So this is just part of what they signed up for. I love everybody's, reaction to it, especially my guy Sammy, who's like, y'all, when it rains back at home, I just go to 7-Eleven and then I call my mom to pick me up. Like,
look, when it rains, my mom just comes and gets me. Like,
I got my
Sammy,
mom on speed dial, and I'm like, Mom,
what?
Come in the minivan and get me, Mom.
Come. Clearly, I'm 22.
19.
Obviously. Call my mom. I was like, Sammy, you did not just say your mom will pick you up.
I pray you did not say that anywhere but confessional, because nobody believes you're 22 anymore if you talk about calling your mom.
My mom just picks me. I was like, what?
Y'all, my mom's got my back, you guys. And when it rains, she just comes and gets me. My mom. Yes, shout out to my mom.
He's like, but out here, I don't have my mom with me. Like, it just rained on me out here. Oh, my Lordy.
I can't go to the 7-Eleven. And
can't even go to a 7-Eleven out here. No. God. That was so good. But like nobody's prepared. Mom or not, no mom. No one liked this storm. I constantly say I could never go on this show. And then when a storm hits, I say, see, I could never go on this show.
Yeah.
Because I would be calling my mom for sure.
Yeah.
They're drenched. They're not sleeping. They're not well. And Gabler's really not well the next day.
Gabler's not handling this great. He's obviously, we talked about it. He's the older guy on this cast. And this is like stressing him out physically, right? Like, bodies just don't, like Sammy's body the way that his body is dealing with this is so different than the way Gabler's is.
Right.
And he's, having to lay down. He's having to like catch his breath, relax. And there's this narrative of like, I can't appear this weak physically, but I literally can't get up at the same time. Like I have to rest, but I'm just trying to figure out like, how do I minimize this as much as possible? Because I don't want people to latch on to this, like, I can't hack it, And even Owen is saying, I'm kind of worried about him lasting, like he might become a liability,
Yeah. 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 I feel it because he has to keep that sort of perception that he's okay, but you're not okay. And you always hope that if someone's just not okay, they need to take half the day or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not playing for an immunity right now. Take a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
But people are going to eye you as they're like trying to make a fire and they're like, what are you doing over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget, like, remember, I think it was Survivor Cow Wrong when Aubrey had a breakdown on like day 3 or something.
Never forget.
And people were like, and we were like,
go girl.
You gotta get it for this game. Like you can't.
She ain't gonna make
it. She made it to the finals, but it was a rough start.
She pulled it together. That Aubrey did. Vesi, that's the next tribe that we go to. And I really love that this is just like a full-on Jesse narration.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is like Jesse's segment here.
Yes.
And we're really getting sort of the picture into his standing in the tribe and like his impression of everyone,
Right. So we kind of hear that Noel and Justine are definitely a duo. He's saying that he feels good with Cody and NECA, and that Dwight kind of seems like he's on his own. And so therefore Jesse is making the effort to bond with Dwight for this reason.
Right. Yeah. We sort of see them out like looking for an idol a little bit. And Dwight's expressing things, while he's bonding with Jesse, he's like, I feel good with everybody. Like, no fear. I can talk to anyone on this tribe. Everybody's great except Cody.
Oop.
I don't feel good around Cody.
Okay. He's a little worried about that, but we get a cute little package with little pictures of little Dwight.
Yeah.
Being a chess prodigy. The
really
cutest little thing with Madeline Albright and people.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, that's right. He was the one who was like, can I interview you? Right?
Yes.
And that's right.
Adorable. Love it. Love little kid photos. But you know what? Cody's just living. No G, guys. Living.
No G. No, he's wild. He's jumping around. He's showing his butt. He's like his tattoo, y'all. This is my life motto. I am living. But
Pomfron hat.
And I think exactly. But this is sort of meant to be like, this is what Dwight can't really figure out and like can't really get on board with. But Jesse's like, I'm good with Cody. Like, I really have no problems, but I'm not good with Justine.
But here's who I'm not feeling. Cut to montage of Justine being like, Spider? Oh my God, Spider? Who is that, a spider? Yeah, guess what? You're sleeping with spiders, Justine. That is what you signed up for. Yep.
Yeah, that's Survivor. Yeah.
Another reason I'm probably not going to go on that show.
That's right.
I want to sleep with the spiders. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
But that is where you are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then we go over to Coco, right?
Coco.
We don't get a ton with Coco. It's mostly, well, I was about to say it's sort of Carla focused, but it ends up being Gio focused. But Carla's sort of like, we know that Carla, Gio, Ryan are sort of this trio. Carla's also working with the Ladies Plus. God, what is that guy's name? James?
Right. James is the king.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So we're sort of getting a sense of Carla's place on the tribe, but then she's sort of focusing in on like, I'm feeling good over here and over here, except Gio and Ryan are a little too close for my liking. And like, Gio's supposed to be my number one, but he seems to be Ryan's number one. And then it's like bro package, like, Ryan and Gio off in the jungle together, doing all of these things. And then we get into a Gio backstory package, which is incredibly moving.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, like, bro packages, Jesse and Cody are adorable. And now Gio and Ryan are adorable.
Yeah.
Loving both of these little bro duos. But yeah, the Gio package where he starts talking about his family basically kicked him out when he came out. And I was like, I will adopt you.
I know. Truly.
Come live with me.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, he's like, saying he was like considering suicide. It's like a very sad story. And, obviously very happy that he made it through and is, now living a dream on Survivor. But again, it's this like getting to know you stuff. We're getting into these people's history, and that's what
and it's kind of shaping. He's like, no one's gonna get in my way. No one can stand in my way here on Survivor. So it kind of ends on a very like strong button, which I appreciate. So then let's go to Vesi. This one is the short one. Yeah. Because we like just are basically talking to Cody about his past.
Right. It's like a little moment of Cody being like, oh, well, what's up with your leg? And that's like, the story producers into Cody's backstory because he had a friend who lost a leg in like a battle to cancer. And that sort of is where all of this live-in stuff stemmed from, where he's like, I'm going to enjoy every moment of my life because what I watched my friend go through,
Right. Baka.
This was great.
Yeah.
I loved this whole segment with them because it's like, there's like 3 moments before we even get to like the meat of this, what this segment is on Baka, which ultimately is like what's going on with the boys on this tribe. But I love the first segment where it's like Owen's at the well, like carrying this big pot of water and it's like splashing everywhere. And he's like, I'm such a grump and I'm like so cranky. And I hope people are noticing that I'm like,
he's a lovable curmudgeon.
Yes, curmudgeon. That's the word I was searching for. And then he's like, if all of those mother effers are out looking for the idol, cut to
like, literally touching it and moving on.
And I love, she goes, nothing there, and like brushes right past the idol. It's beautiful editing. I love it.
I know you say this often, David, but you're like, do you not see the camera like zooming in on the idol?
Like, it's right there. They're lingering on the idol.
You're like, nope, nothing there. Check.
When you move on and the camera doesn't follow you and it's stuck in the nook of a tree, go back and look again. Something is there.
How are they missing that? Like, is the camera that far back? It just has a really good zoom.
Right.
I mean, they probably are the best cameras that you can have. But it's like, the camera's like, nope, we're right here with the idol.
Yep. I'm just going to stay here.
Ellie's description here of her 2 sons, Sammy and Owen, I felt it. I felt that was accurate, where she's Sammy, he's like, okay, I kind of have to like help him along, but don't need to tend to him too much. Whereas Owen, you really got to be there and hold his hand the whole time.
Because Owen, he gets worked up about things, and we see Ellie having to like calm him down. Like, if you need to take a break, Owen, it's okay. I know the harder you work at it, the more frustrated you get, and then that makes it even harder. So if you need to step away, it's okay. She's like literally mothering him. And then with the Sammy of it all, she's like, Sammy, no, he's 22. He feels like more like 19, but I can't really put my finger on it.
He called me when it was raining and was like asking for help. I don't know. And I was just like, get under the bamboo. I don't know. But my son's here on Survivor. I was like, girl, I feel this. It really does seem like that. And then, of course, the producers just have fun with this edit where the guys are like,
right. Truly. Well, the girls are like, are they even playing? Are the boys even playing?
What a game is this?
Yeah. But then,
of course, when a girl or when anyone says they're not even playing the game, I'm like, ugh, they're all playing. It may not be your game.
Yeah.
So don't just be like, no, they're not even playing. But
No.
this was a fun edit.
Course, yeah, they like cut right to Sammy being like, guys, like we gotta do like we're aligned, right? Because we would be stupid to like lose to these girls, right? So it's the three of us, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a fun package at Baca.
So so the first episode, I was like, Sammy's voice sounds like somebody. Every time he talked, I was like, I'm hearing somebody's voice, and it took me a while, but this episode I got it. You guys, it's Channing Tatum. They have the same voice, and especially when he plays one of those kind of, you know, characters that's like, you know, they say similar things. When he was like, I don't really get into gender alliances. Like, I don't need it, but I gotta stick with these guys. I was like, oh, it's Channing Tatum, like from 21 Jump Street or one of those.
Magic Mike or something. Yeah, I need to listen next episode and make sure that because I'm sure I'm going to hear it now and not be able to unhear it.
You can't unhear it. It's a thing.
Yeah. Funny.
All right, let's play for immunity and
reward. The reward is the fishing kit. You know, the number one tribe is going to win like the big full fishing kit, and then they get like one scuba set if they're in second place, but it's still good.
It wasn't bad, yeah.
Gets the job done. So we've got to sit out some people. Noelle and Carla are the two who sit out from their tribes, but this is like swim through the ocean, climb over this cage into the cage, drag. Did Jeff say it was a 400-pound?
I believe he said
snake?
400 pounds, and it looked 400 pounds. They were struggling to lift it up over the cage and then like get it out. Oh, this looked hard, that part.
It did. Yeah. I mean, Cody, the way, Jeff was even commenting on it, like Cody's like throwing his body as he's like, you know, holding on tightly he's just throwing his whole body back to try to get the momentum and pull the snake over. But even with all that effort from Cody, I was surprised that Vesi was in last place. And I was kind of surprised. I mean, I guess, you know, it's not necessarily fair to judge Baca based off of like the first, you know, immunity and they go to tribal, but I was surprised that Baca was in first place this whole challenge.
No, I agree. Like, I think I definitely undervalued them because last episode, last week, I said they're going back. Getting rid of Mariah did not solve the problem. Yeah. They're going back to tribal, and here they are, like, killing it.
Yep. Yeah. So once they get, it's Baca first, like dragging the snake out of the cage, then Coco, then Vesi. And truly that is the order all through the entire competition. But then once they get to the beach, they then have to drag the snake under whatever that barrier is. And Jeff's like, this one's hard because you're dragging it against the sand and it's, you know, resistance there. And then they have to like push it on this table all the way to the end of the table.
Yeah. There is a time when Vesi does look like they're just kind of giving up. They're not giving up, but they're like, let's just take a beat here.
Yeah. And they're lingering on the moments when Neka is like taking a beat, you know?
Yeah.
Like they find that camera shot where she stood for like 2 seconds and they're like, Neka's blowing it for Vesi.
And Noelle was yelling. She was like, Neka, help. You have to help. Like Noelle is like very intense on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So we see Baca, you know, they get that combo first on the puzzle. We've got Janine and Ellie on that puzzle. Now, what we see, though, and I just want to point all this out because it's very interesting how it plays out. But Jeff is like, no, that bag. They need that bag. There's a piece in there. He spells it out for them as the first tribe.
He does. We did notice that. And then they linger on the moment when Neka's like, bag. And then she like walks away.
And just drops it.
Yeah.
Now they're third. And so chaos is ensuing right now. Jeff has a lot on his plate when he is, you know, doing the sideline reporting at this time, because we've got Coco already up there. Lindsay and Cassidy are on the puzzle by the time Vesi is going to get up there. But when she drops the bag, nobody points it out to her that that's an important bag. Now, she should know it's an important bag.
Yeah.
But nobody is pointing it out to her.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, like you said, it's Ellie and Janine for Baca. It's Lindsay and Cassidy on the puzzle for Coco. And then Nneka and Dwight are on it for Vesi.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're lingering on these moments where like Nneka is stopping and it just feels like she is already completely exhausted and like her brain is just kind of gone, you know, and she can't really track. She's taking puzzle pieces and just trying to show that she's not even looking at the pattern. It doesn't seem. No. She's just like, I'm just going to take this piece and see if I can make it go here. And it's none of it is making sense. Jeff almost seems annoyed. I don't know if you got that impression, but he was like, what is going on with this tribe?
He was like, this tribe is horrible. Yeah, you guys gave up in the water. He's like, this, why? Yeah, no, sometimes he does that when someone is like, really not doing a great showing. He's like, well, you're the worst thing I've ever seen on this show. Energy is what he's giving off. But honestly, Nneka and Dwight both looked like they've never seen a puzzle before. I genuinely was like, these are your puzzle people? Because they were like upside down letters. Here. It looked rough.
Really bad.
It honestly was probably best that they were already in last place because I think they just didn't have the energy to get it done.
No. So, they lose their flint as a result of this challenge.
Sure.
Baca wins first and then Coco. And, they again find that moment where they're like, oh, you didn't get the piece out of the bag. And that was like that one tiny piece that you needed over there. And that would have solved the whole puzzle, which is not true. But they kind of make it seem like that was the fatal mistake. And that was one of many, I think, fatal mistakes. But they're focusing on the things that Nneka did wrong in this challenge really throughout.
Yeah, we definitely leave going, oh boy, Nneka is in trouble at this point.
Well, literally, we leave on the soundbite of Noelle being like, Nneka's got to go. Like, she's out. Yeah. And I, having her on my draft team, and like, not going to happen, sweetie.
You were like,
the first soundbite after the challenge, you think that's how this is going to be edited? No, ma'am. So you think
know better.
That is,
We know better than to believe the first soundbite after the challenge. It's not our first season here.
That's right.
But we're going to go to Vesi first, and we are going to sort of see, Nneka, the puzzle piece. Oh, but no one saw the puzzle piece. Oh, no one pointed it out.
No. And it's like, it's sort of two sides of a similar conversation, right? So Cody and Jesse are together, and they're like, man, Nneka sucks, but she is awesome. Like, we love Nneka,
she's with us.
She blew it in that challenge, but she's with us. And then Justine and Noelle are like, Nneka sucks. She's great around camp, but she is not pulling her weight on this challenge,
Yeah. Exactly. So two different vibes, but, exciting to see, like, she's not just straight dead in the water. Like, we're going to have a conversation about there'll be more. But then 100%. We get to go to Baca and see them celebrate their win, which I really enjoy. We don't get this as often, but obviously with a 90-minute episode, we can take that moment to see them celebrate.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I guess we still had a lot of time left in the episode, so there was time to go over to Baca, but I was kind of expecting just to go to Vesi and spend the rest of the episode with Vesi and sort of like follow the strategy that was happening over there. So I was like, oh, popping out and going to Baca. Great. Like, we haven't seen this particular tribe have that moment to celebrate yet, because obviously they went to tribal last episode. But, here again, we're getting these backstories. Ellie's talking about, what she was able to accomplish with this puzzle and saying like, I had ADHD, I had dyslexia growing up. And this was a moment for me. Like, this felt like I overcame something by winning this puzzle. As silly as that sounds, like, this was kind of huge for me.
Right. She's like, I have a degree and I've done things in my life. She's like, but this moment really proved that I could do something. And that's really nice to see. And it's nice to just get, more information about these characters, like we're saying here. But they're really questioning Gabler's idol. 2 tribals, but is it 2 tribals or is it the 2 tribals we go
They're like,
to?
what is the expiration date on that thing?
Yeah.
They're like, can somebody get that idol out of the fridge and let's look at that expiration date, please?
Yeah,
And
they're like,
Janine's
actually,
like,
we can.
actually, I will.
Mm-hmm,
And I love
mm-hmm.
this confessional from Janine where she's like, I would never do this in real life. But now I'm on Survivor and I will lie and I will go through someone's bag.
She was even like, when I watch Survivor, I'm like, do they really need to go into people's bags?
Right.
And she's
Is
like,
this necessary?
Yes, it is. Can confirm. Do it. So she does, and they get the information that I'm like yelling at them. I'm like, if you guys have ever watched Survivor, it's obviously the 2 he goes to, not one that he's not at.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You didn't
But
really need to confirm that, I don't think. But it was great the moment where, she's just like gently kind of like going through his bag, and then like Gabler comes up on the beach and she's like, oh, I'm just over here. I'm over here sorting through.
Oh, my clothes? Yes.
Yeah.
Bags?
Who, me? Your bag? No.
Ooh,
Why would I
what?
go through your bag?
Mm-hmm. But she gets away with it, does it. Now we go back to Vesi.
Yeah.
Gotta figure out how this vote's gonna go down. And now, you guys, we're gonna have some fun.
The complication of this whole situation, because of the shot in the dark and the fact that numbers are so small, right? It's like,
I don't even know that we have the shot in the dark. Jeff has not mentioned it at all. The only person who's mentioned it is Gabler. And they're just assuming.
Interesting.
But Jeff didn't bring it up in the beginning. He didn't bring it up at Tribal. I have yet to hear it.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm racking my brain and I agree with you. I don't remember a moment where he brought it up specifically, but I do remember seeing a specific camera angle at a tribal council where there's the urn and then there's a bag next to it. And it felt to me, I remember thinking in that moment, like, oh, that's the shot in the dark bag. So
it's very possible. I mean, they're assuming it. I assumed it last week when Gabler brought it up. I was like, sure, shot in the dark. It wasn't until later that I was like, wait, why hasn't Jeff brought it up? We had a 2-hour episode last week. We have a 90-minute episode this week. It's not like they didn't have time.
Yeah, right.
To say, hey, anyone want to, or at least in the beginning, like, just set it up and be like, and like the last couple seasons, you have the opportunity to play the shot in the dark. Boom, done.
100%. That's it. That's all you have to do.
So I don't know if it exists. But anyway, as you were saying.
Well, they're planning for it. Justine specifically is like, Nika needs to go. And like, how do we do this? Right. So she's basically saying, I think she's talking to Dwight at this point. Justine has Noelle, obviously. She has Dwight, but Dwight has no vote. Let's remember. And so she's like, we need Jesse so that if Nika plays her shot in the dark, in which case she would have no vote, but potentially she's safe, we need Jesse as a third on our side so we could split votes between Nika and Cody. And then, we're good to go. Right. So it's a very complicated plan. And the math is even more challenging given that Dwight has no vote,
Exactly. But they know that's out in the open. Jesse and Cody decide that Justine is their target. They're like, Justine or Noelle? And Jesse very quickly is like, well, you said Justine's a salesperson. That terrifies me. And
also, Justine said straight to my face that she is a good liar. And then they flash back and show the footage.
Thank you. She's like, I'm really good at this. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, what?
Jesse Foley's like, why would you say that to me?
Why? Why would you? That is a good question. Why would you say that? Jesse is gonna tell Dwight about the pineapple zone, which I was like, this is absurd.
That. Yeah. But it's like, it's sort of, I do this thing with my friend. I don't know if you remember Honesty Box on Facebook, where you could like submit your opinion of someone or anything really, but you could do it anonymously. And it was like the Honesty Box on Facebook. So a good friend of mine were always like, can I have an honesty box moment? And it's like, safe space, I can say whatever I want. And this is like Jesse's version of that, the pineapple zone.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it a pineapple?
Yeah.
But this is him pitching to Dwight. Justine is scary. Justine, let's think about it. And Dwight is clearly not on board. And they don't even need Dwight on board. This is just Jesse kind of being like inclusive. That's
my whole thing about this whole episode.
Give me your thing.
I'm like, leave Dwight out of it. Why is anybody talking to him? And why is he trying to like throw his weight around? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you're right.
You got no vote.
Everybody can tell Dwight is not into it. Justine then walks up and proves exactly why she should be the target, because she's like, so Jesse, how do I know you're not playing me? It's like, girl, get out of here. Like, that is not the strategy.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know if I trust you or that you're trustworthy. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And then Jesse's like, yeah, I can't have that energy around me. Like, Justine's definitely going to go. But then Dwight, like, he's like protesting. He's like, no, I need Noelle and Justine to stay. And I'm like, you have no vote. It does not matter what you want, this tribal council. I'm so sorry.
Like, I understand Jesse is trying to reel Dwight in and like build that bond, make him, you know, a usable number to Jesse. So I would understand if like last minute going into tribal, if you were just like, hey, it's going to be Justine, just a heads up, it's going to be Justine as like an olive branch. It's like, hey, I'm letting you know. But this whole going to him beforehand, I almost felt like convoluted things and allowed Dwight the time to tell Justine, if he did, like, we don't see that happen, but Justine gets hints. So was that from Dwight? You know, don't give Dwight that time.
Yeah. Right. Then I love this conversation between Nika, Jesse, and Cody, because it seems like Nika is sort of largely staying out of it and just sort of figuring out what's happening from Jesse and Cody. And there's this moment here, because earlier in the episode, she already was like, I know the girls want me out. It's like not a secret. I know. And then in this moment, she's sitting with them and it's almost like she's a mafia don. And she goes, what's Noelle talking about? And they were like, it's Justine. We're voting Justine, Nika. And they're sort of like, don't get mad. Like, we're going to vote Justine out, Nika.
What we do see of Nika talking to the ladies does seem like good. Like I liked that she still was willing to go up to them and be like, what are we thinking? But they're obviously giving her nothing, right?
And she knows that.
Right. She's picking up what they're putting down. They're like, you know, they're going to talk to some people.
Oh, wow. It's so hard.
But Cody's like, you know what? Is there an E on the end of Justine? Like, that's all I need to know right now. Like,
I know. But I mean, weren't you the one who brought up last week, or somebody was like, how do they not know the spelling? Like, why does nobody, they need like a printout at tribal council so that people can spell people's names. Maybe it was someone in our comments.
It was a comment. Yeah, it was a comment, which I thought was funny because I love when people misspell names. But this is a great joke. It's like, how do you spell her name? Because I'm writing it down. But then Cody's like, hold my beer. Let me, how can I liven it up here? You know?
You just never know in Survivor. So
you never
I gotta go. Even though I'm safe, I gotta go looking for an idol.
I want to go look. I'm gonna go look.
He sees the clue, first of all, sticking straight out of a stump. The way that this one was hidden compared to the one that Ellie missed was
in
hidden.
A tree. Yeah.
It's like, okay, this producer got lazy.
Yeah.
But he finds the advantage. It's a beware advantage, right? We know this now.
We know.
It's a take
and he
or leave.
knows. He's like, hey, I've seen 41 and 42. I get it. I know that there will be a risk to this reward.
Yeah. And he says, living.
I gotta
live.
Livin'.
Okay? Yeah.
You guys, are we taking shots every time he says living or anyone says living? Because it's a lot.
I'm dying of alcohol poisoning if we do that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm opening it. I know that there's going to be a arrest. I don't care. Let me have this advantage. Let's go. Boom. He's reading this. And I honestly, David, I'm so into, this bead and that bead, and he has to collect me. I'm so into the logistics of this that I don't realize he's lost his vote until he says, and I've lost my vote until then. And I went, I like this better than the whole phrase thing. I know you were a huge fan of the phrase thing, but I like this like new challenge. It doesn't turn out to be that hard. It turns out, I'm surprised we didn't see more protesting of like, why are you asking for my beads? But there's like one sort of like very special big bead on everybody's bag that they've been given, and he has to get everybody to like voluntarily hand over their beads to him so that he can then like make an immunity bracelet. And if he doesn't collect every single bead, then he's lost his vote at this tribal council, right? Nika was the star of this for me, Sarah. I don't know if she was the star of it for you, but you know, Cody has this moment of like, oh, we might go to rocks. Oh my God, like this is so stressful. He goes and he, you know, tells Jesse about the advantage, and Jesse is like, did you not watch the past 2 seasons of Survivor? We were good. He was like, this tribal, we needed your vote. We needed your vote, this tribal. Do you not understand where we are right now?
You're right. So then Jesse goes to Nika, and he's like, Nika, don't freak out. But Cody lost his vote, and she's like, oh my God.
She's like, oh my God. Lord.
And he's like, but Nika, we just have to get everybody to hand over their beads.
Just have
so
to
they
get
go
everyone's beads.
And Nika's like, again, hold my beer. They go back to camp, and Cody's like, ooh, the beads. And Nika's like, here, take mine. And then she's like, Justine, you don't need your beads, do you? Give them to Cody. Nika's just like ordering everybody around.
But she's doing it real chill. Like the way they handled this whole decorate my hat thing, I'm sweating bullets. I'm so stressed. This is ridiculous how stressed I am at a craft project. But they are so chill. The people who know what's happening are like, oh, decorate the hat. Yeah. Neka's like, well, you can have my beads. And then maybe if you linked them with other people's beads, they'd go around.
Yeah. And then
Jesse's like, sure, have mine.
Truly. And Nika's like, Dwight, he doesn't have enough beads to make it all the way around his hat. Please give us your beads. And Dwight's like, okay, here. And then she's like, Justine, your beads, please. And everyone just hands them over. It's only Noelle, and who's like, I already made bracelets. So
yeah, she's like, these are my bracelets. I feel powerful. Like I'm good. And then of course, this is where they're gonna leave us. And we're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How does he get the last beads? Now, like before we move on and finish this, why I love this. I mean, I did love the sayings, but you can't do that like they know about it now. You can't do that again.
Yeah.
So the beads, I feel like, is a great one because you don't have to get everybody's beads, and you don't always have to rush before this tribal, right? Like other people are going to find this advantage with more time. They're not going to be like freaking out that they now have an hour to get these beads or this plan doesn't work out. And I'm really excited to see how, like, I was crafting ways to be like, oh, I love your yellow one. Like, can I have that one and I'll trade you my purple one? Like, there are creative, casual ways to do it that's not going to make anyone suspicious, right? This was actually the most suspicious way you could do it.
Well, I would love to see, I mean, I was just imagining if we get to like a tribe swap situation where we go to 2 tribes, say, instead of 3, right? So then you've got like 8 people instead of 5 to get all of their beads or something. Like suddenly you have to get more, but it did look
I
like
don't
this
know.
advantage very specifically had like 6 beads pictured on it, so I don't think that we'll get to that point.
No,
but
I think they'll just have each
yeah
tribe doing it. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm excited. So obviously we're gonna go to tribal here. Not sure what the bead sitch is, and I gotta tell you, the whole tribal, I'm staring at Noelle's wrist, trying to figure out if she's missing a bracelet.
Did she give him the beads? Because Cody's got the hat on, right? He's got his like big beautiful visor thing. It's like a moment, and Jeff's like, check out that hat. And Justine's like, I know, right? I want a hat. And Jeff's like, Cody, what's it going to take for you to make her a hat? And Cody's response is, well, she'll have to stay another day. As
Cody,
if it's on her. I'm like, Cody, you could also go home. You have to play this off a little more coolly.
I was like,
well, I have to be here another day to make her a hat.
I was like, just be like, sure, I'd love to make you a hat later. What? Why does it have anything to do with someone being voted out? He like took it from like this cool thing to being like, well, if you make it,
which you probably won't. So
I mean, it's not just my vote. So I was like, I was surprised. Like Justine played that off. Like she did. Her face didn't flinch. I'd be like,
I know.
What? Cody,
like,
what
the hell does that mean, Cody?
I was like, oh, so I'm clearly the target. Okay. Got it, Jeff. Got it.
Stay another day. You get a hat. Oh, it's all about me. Okay. But then, I mean, Justine does then say, they're talking about like it's 2, 2, and 2, right? Like Justine's like it's me and Noelle, and like obviously Dwight and Jesse are like in their little honeymoon, whatever. And she's like, but the strongest duo in the tribe are Cody and Nika.
And she's like, and I don't talk much to Cody. Like I'm not feeling that. Then Jesse's gonna propose to Dwight. This is cute.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They're like, oh, are we a duo? Okay, let's make this
official.
Oh,
like, okay. Yeah.
That was cute. That was cute.
About it.
Right. The rest of it, I don't know. Like they're all just sort of having sound bites.
Yeah, it's just about like trust is the only currency that matters, blah, blah, blah. Noelle does make an allusion to like, I don't know if there's an advantage in play because like I haven't heard anything, but we're just wondering the whole time, where are those beads? Did Cody get all of them? What's going to happen?
What's going to happen here? I did like the way Noelle phrased it because she was like, I don't know if there's an advantage out there. Either someone's playing really good or they're just not telling me. And I was like,
yeah. Both.
Yeah. I was like, you're not going to know when everyone has an advantage. Like that's pretty guaranteed. You're probably not going to know about that. We see Noelle vote for Nneka, and we see Nneka vote for Justine.
And we see Dwight, his no vote thing plays out.
Yeah.
So then we get to the actual vote. Jeff asks for, advantages. Nothing gets played. No shot in the dark. Cody doesn't play any kind of idol situation.
Any hat? No.
No hat gets played. And so we see a Justine, no surprise. A Nneka, no surprise. A Cody, which was no surprise to us, but looked like it was a little bit of a surprise to Cody.
I mean, I still felt like really you wasted a vote on Cody. I was like, because now it doesn't even matter if
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what Cody did.
Him the beads. He didn't even need them.
Yeah, I genuinely in that moment assumed he didn't have the beads, and it was going to be like sigh of relief because they split the votes.
Right.
Trying to cover their butt, and they didn't have the votes.
Well, they still, like the editors tried to build this into a bigger moment than it really was, because the next vote is for Justine. So if there's no vote left, she's out, right? And the only vote that we're wondering about is Cody's, which we know if he has a vote is going to be another vote for Justine. So like Justine's gone. But then Jeff is like one vote left, and there's this dramatic flashback to, we finally convinced Noelle to, give me the beads before tribal council, and we get a third vote for Justine. But again, it's just like, okay, it's kind of irrelevant. She was already gone, But
I still loved it. I was soaked into the drama because this bead thing is ridiculous. And the fact that he like had to do it so quickly last minute is just absurd. And here he is. We now know he has an idol. It all worked out. Noelle gave him her beads, and boom, Justine is gone.
Yeah.
Justine this is really funny at this point. Dwight's
I am lolling at Justine going home.
I'm sorry, Justine, but this is hilarious because we have a hat and beads happening here.
Yeah.
But they outplayed them anyway. And, they're blaming Jesse because they already thought Jesse was shady, but they didn't have the votes. So Dwight is mad at Jesse, and I wrote down in my notes, oh, Jesse has to sleep on the couch tonight. And then Dwight says that in the preview.
Literally, they said that. Yes. Yep.
The couple is there's no marital bliss there.
Right. Drama in paradise, trouble in paradise.
Yes.
But Justine's gone. I think it's no surprise, really, to me. Like, I could have guessed that it would either be Justine or Cody. Probably would be the two that I would have guessed would go first from this tribe, just based on personalities and how people were reacting to them so far. So I'm not necessarily shocked that she's the first one.
I'm pleasantly surprised Nneka was saved because I could see her being the first one out.
I loved it, obviously, for draft purposes. But I also, there was a moment where early on when we had first come back from this challenge where I think Nneka said something like, I just have to hope that the relationships I've built so far will carry me through. And that's what we talked about preseason with Nneka was, is she going to have this killer social game? Because, she's a little bit on the older side, whatever, doesn't necessarily seem like the most physically, strong person in these kinds of challenges. We kind of predicted that for her. And we said, is she going to be like a Suri type? Can she really embed with people and win people over right away? And she certainly has with Cody. And Jesse seems, on board with that.
Exactly. Yeah. She's close with Cody. She's close with Jesse. And the three of them are able to take the majority here on this tribe. I'm sorry, Dwight. I don't know. You didn't have a vote. So you didn't have a lot of fight in the beginning. And you definitely have no fight now because are you going to just sit on the minority or are you going to?
Exactly. He played his cards in a moment where he really shouldn't have, because you got no vote. You should just sit back and sort of watch how this plays out. And then you can align yourself with the side that you need to be on when you're actually able to be a part of the conversation. So now he's sitting on the bottom with Noelle,
Yeah, I definitely understand if he's going to have his eye on Cody. He's worried about Cody. He's scared of Cody, whatever that is. But you only have so many relationships that are working for you. Don't ruin one of them with Jesse.
Right.
Fake it. Fake that you guys are close and everything's fine. And utilize
Focus on getting even closer to Jesse and pulling Jesse away from Cody. That's kind of what you should focus on rather than I'm going to cling to Noelle and Justine. Cut them loose. You just got to let go of the first person. And then once the dust settles from that first vote out, which is always semi-random because it's just so early in the game, then you can sort of figure out what your strategy is. I think he played a little too hard when he had no sway in how this vote was going to go.
Yeah, I had to let Mariah go. It hurts, guys. You got to let that first one go. But this is just how it works with Survivor. Someone's going to go right away, and it's never fun. It never.
No, never. But next week, I mean, the thing that I pulled from the teaser for next episode was Sammy telling Gabler they looked in your bag. And Gabler says she's got to go, from what I could tell. They cut together this soundbite with an image of Ellie to make it seem like he's referring to Ellie, but we all know that these teasers are fake outs sometimes. So I'm wondering if it's actually Janine, because she's the one who actually went through his bag physically.
Right.
So we'll see how that drama shakes out.
Yeah, they always mislead us in those first previews. And Janine's the one that actually did it. So it wouldn't be Ellie. but could be Ellie.
Could be.
You know, I think that there is a guy versus girl war a brewing over there, just with their personalities, it seems like. So next week we are back to a normal schedule with 1 hour shows. They're bringing in the Real Love Boat is going to be sandwiched in between Survivor and Amazing Race. So everything is an hour. We've enjoyed the extra character development, but now it will be right back to normal stuff.
Yes. Yeah. But
we will
I'm
be
loving
recapping
this season of Survivor so far. It's great.
Oh, so good. Casting, amazing like always.
Like always.
We rarely have complaints about a Survivor cast. Loving it. So David and I will be back next Thursday, this time, the day after the episode, to recap it. And you guys in the chat, we love you. We appreciate you being here and chatting along with us.
We do. And for those of you who are joining us later, remember to leave us a comment. We appreciate it when you do, and let us know what you think about Justine going home, those relationships on the Vesi tribe. What did you think of this Beware advantage in the beads? Were you a fan or not? Let us know your thoughts on all that.
Right. Yes. Let us know, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye.